Good morning. Call to order our February 14th, 2017 meeting of the Mason County Board of County Commissioners. I've asked former Commissioner Steve Bloomfield to lead us in the pledge this morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good. Thank you. If the clerk would please report or take the roll.
Commissioner at District 1, Randy Netherland.
Here.
Commissioner at District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
And Commissioner at District 3, Terry Jeffries.
Happy Valentine's, I'm here.
Looking festive, and then Commissioner Netherland.
Not very festive.
That takes us to item number 4 on our agenda this morning, our correspondence and organizational business. Item 4.1, if the clerk would please report the correspondence.
Susan Noyes-Mathers sent in an application for the Parks and Trails Board. William Kaiser sent an application in for the Planning Advisory Board. The Department of Natural Resources sent a letter about the state forest transfer and purchase of lands. Mason County Fire District 1 sent in a letter regarding County Emergency Medical Service Council representative. The Economic Development Council sent in their fourth quarter report, and the Freedom Foundation sent in a letter asking about collective bargaining meetings.
Okay, very good. And item number 4.2, we have a guest with us this morning, Jeff Dickinson from the Squaxin Island Tribe, to make a presentation on behalf of the Alliance for a Healthy South Sound. So Jeff, I'd invite you up to.
Thank you. As you know, I'm sure, and hopefully I can explain to the audience, Commissioner Netherland has been serving for several years on the South Sound Alliance, what I call it, technically, formally, the Alliance for a Healthy South Sound, which works with the Puget Sound Partnership to implement, recover the health of Puget Sound. And we have an active group in South Puget Sound, and Commissioner Netherland has been serving on that, as I said, including last year as the chair of that august body. And we have been somewhat successful duking it out with the powers that be to actually get some of the dollars that are out there for protecting Puget Sound to come to South Puget Sound for work here. And currently we're focusing on shellfish work for that effort. That's been a long, hard battle. We've got some scars between us working in the legislature and with the federal agencies. So Randy has now passed along to Commissioner Schutte the responsibility for carry on that work. So as he leaves the South Sound Alliance board, we wanted to give him this recognition and appreciation for his leadership of the South Sound Alliance.
Thank you. I'll tell you what's funny is I was sitting here thinking, I didn't know that he was doing this. I was sitting there thinking, wait a minute, I don't remember ever going and giving a briefing before that commission. Thank you very much.
Certainly. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for your recognition. And thank you, Commissioner Netherland, for stepping up and taking on a fledgling organization and bringing maturity to it with all the other partners.
I got to tell you, I got so much respect for them. It was funny, you know, I will share a little story on them. I went in there because we had past battles with a different one. I went in there just fit to fight, and then I started realizing, wait a minute, they didn't have any money. They weren't doing the same stuff at all. They were straight up. I have a lot of respect for the man that just gave me this. He's the new chair now. But last year we decided to do some changes, and I became the chair, with him the vice chair, so that we'd have some good battles, a little stronger way of looking at things and going at things. So I thank you very much for this. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everything you do. If you ever need me, just call me.
Will do.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you coming down this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Take care.
Have a good one.
That takes us to item number 5 on today's agenda. This is the open forum for citizen input It's an opportunity for members of the public to comment on issues that are not on today's agenda. And if you'd like to comment on any issues not on today's agenda, you can approach the podium and the chair will recognize you. Steve?
Morning, Commissioners. Steve Bloomfield, 391 Southeast Dolman Road, Shelton. I'm here to thank the county, particularly Public Works. We use a road out on Harstein Island. It's one of the gravel roads in Mason County. It was getting in such a state that it was impossible to drive down it. And in fact, in 2 places on that road, the locals were driving off the road and out through the bushes around the potholes. Now, this time of the year isn't the time of the year to fix a road. And I know that, and Public Works knows that. But the road was in such horrible condition that something had to be done. And I'll tell you what, those guys not only responded, but they did such a wonderful job that it's going to last through. I thought in a week this thing's going to be right back the way it was. They didn't. They did it right. It's in good condition, and it's now drivable by the locals out there, and also the people going to the state park. Now that brings up a different issue. Public Works, they did a magnificent job, but it costs money to do that. Now the people using that state park and state park should be responsible for some of that cost. I know there's blood and turnips. We just got to figure a way to squeeze some of it out, and they should have some responsibility in that maintenance of that road too. But thanks a lot, Public Works. You did a great job, and you need to be recognized for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Public Works. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, that'll move us to item number 6, the adoption of our agenda today. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt today's agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the approval of the January 30th, 2017 briefing minutes, January 24th, 2017, and February 7th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the January 30th, 2017 briefing minutes and the regular meeting minutes from January 24th and February 7th, 2017. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to item number 8, the approval of our action agenda. We have a few items here that we will read through. After we read through, the public or commissioner can ask questions or ask that an item be removed for a separate vote and discussion. I will begin by reading items 8.1 through 8.3. Commissioner Netherland, if you would take 8.4 through 8.6. And Commissioner Jeffries, if you would finish up with 8.7 and 8.8. Item number 8.1, approval to execute the resolution authorizing the county engineer or the engineering and construction manager the authority to legally bind Mason County for the sole purpose of requesting federal reimbursement. Item 8.2, approval of the interlocal agreement with the North Mason Regional Fire Authority for the county to provide equipment or vehicle repairs, maintenance, upfit radios, and fueling services. And item 8.3, approval to authorize the road operations and maintenance ER&R manager to execute the joint powers agreement between Mason County and National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA, to access available contracts for goods and services from NJPA awarded vendors.
Mr. Chairman, item number 8.4 reads, approval to have the chair execute the agreement with Washington State Association of Counties, WASAC, for the purpose of conducting fish barrier assessments on culverts located under Mason County road right-of-ways. Item number 8.5, approval of the resolution authorizing support services to voucher from the individual departmental budgets the Mason County cellular telephone bills excluding the sheriff's office. Item number 8.6, approval to set a public hearing for March 14th, 2017 at 9:30 a.m. to consider the proposed amendments to the Village Commercial District in the Allen Urban Growth Area and Festival Retail District in the Belfair Urban Growth Area.
Item 8.7, approval of the Veterans Assistance Fund applications for necessity items totaling $400, housing totaling $1,030, burial $600, for a total of $2,030. Item 8.8, approval of warrants. Our claim clearance fund warrants 8046255 through 8046322, totaling $59,473.83.
Very good, thank you. Are there any items that anyone would like to have removed for a separate discussion or vote?
Commissioner, I'd like to remove 8.6 for separate discussion.
Okay. It's been moved that we remove item 8.6 for a separate discussion. Any comments on item 8.6?
Yes, 8.6, Dave Wyndham, Mason County Community Services. 8.6 was submitted with the incorrect title, and I've got a couple of changes. This is what was posted online, and what the commissioners have is the previous draft and not the current draft. So I'd like to move it to a separate vote and make the changes and then resubmit those documents this afternoon so they go on the website and we're correct, and yet keep the same briefing date.
So would we know what we're voting on?
Well,
or
it's
remove
a
it
change
from
in title,
today's-
and then there's two pieces that were removed. Nothing was addressed in Belfair, so that's the biggest part. The title says Belfair Festival Retail District, and the PAC addressed nothing in that. So the title is essentially incorrect. So,
Okay.
and there's two very small changes.
I think we can adjust that easy enough when the time comes for the motion.
So you're asking that it remain part of today's vote?
No. A separate vote afterwards today, but
Okay, so but you're saying you're saying that we vote on it today, but change the
remove it.
okay, change the verbiage. Okay. So let's take I'd entertain a motion to approve items 8.1 through 8.5, and then items 8.7 and 8.8.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the action agenda. All of them with the exception of item number 8.6, which will be removed for a separate vote.
And I would second that motion. I do have a comment, though.
Okay.
Item 8.4 is, I think, a pretty fortuitous event that happened. Director Wyndham and I and some of the staff members had met with members of the Squaxin Island Tribe about some of the issues around fish barrier removal and how to prioritize those. And it just so happened that Mason County was chosen to receive funding from the state legislative appropriation to the Washington State Association of Counties to go through a process of prioritizing fish barrier removal culverts, to prioritize which ones ought to go first. And this was fortuitous in that this came at a time when we were talking about doing that very thing. And so it's very kind and wonderful that we have the option of doing this with monies appropriated by the legislature. And I think it's wonderful that Mason County gets to step up and be the test case about how to prioritize these culverts.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve all the items on our action agenda with the exception of item 8.6, which has been removed for a separate vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. So it takes us back to item 8.6. Is there preferred language, Commissioner Netherland?
What I understand, since we're only setting a date for the hearing, the only thing we need to do, I think, on this one is just clean it up, and I'll double check with you. Approval to set a public hearing for March 14, 2017 at 9:30 a.m. to consider the proposed amendments to the Village Commercial District in Allen Urban Growth Area.
So delete and Festival Retail District in the Belfair urban growth area.
Yes, but my motion would be just as I read, so.
Right.
So Commissioner, or Mr. Chair, I move for the approval to set a public hearing on March 14, 2017, 9:30 a.m. to consider the proposed amendments to the Village Commercial District in the Allen Urban Growth Area.
And I would second that, but I do have still some questions.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve to set a public hearing for March 14th, 2017 at 9:30 a.m. to consider the proposed amendments to the Village Commercial District in the Allen Urban Growth Area. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Wyndham, you said that there were some language changes in the ordinance itself.
Well, in the one that was posted had changes in the Belfair that the PAC did not recommend to send forward.
So
That was this was a draft that was rejected. So the problem is you got the wrong draft.
Okay, but the draft that I'm looking at that for the Allen Urban Growth Area, is that the same language that we'll be having a hearing on?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
For
just
Allen
the
piece, it
Belfair.
is.
Okay.
So, the only change on that one is, and Marilyn, correct me on this one, is item number 29, page 4 of 8. Minimum of 4 dwelling units per acre. We did not set a maximum. So the max was initially set and then was removed in the last PAC meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So those are the 2 changes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, it's been moved and seconded then that we approve the public hearing for March 14, 2017. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion passes. Okay, it takes us to item number 9 on our agenda. Other business is an opportunity for department heads and elected officials to address the commission. Are there any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission? Now's the time to do so, please, if you want to.
I have a letter we actually sent over about a week ago to recognize one of the county directors. I'll just read the letter. What I want to thank him for and our staff for is that what a cooperative work experience has been since he's been here. And I'll just read the letter that our staff put together. This is from the Mason County Sheriff's Office in recognition of Facilities Manager Jeff Rabel. Letter of recognition. Jeff, I would like to take this opportunity to formally thank you on behalf of my jail and my jail command staff for the extensive and critical work you've been doing with the Mason County Jail. In the short time that you have been here, you and your staff have been extremely cooperative with my staff in attempting to deal with issues surrounding the jail remodel. This project was started over 3 years ago, and I can say that you have kept me and my staff informed of the issues and challenges you inherited and the significant steps you have attempted to mitigate numerous issues that were beyond your control or authority. Chief Hansen has spoken of your willingness to meet and work through all of the jail issues. Your responsive and professionalism speaks highly of how you are dealing with the difficulties you have faced. Thank you again for your responsive and professional demeanor in trying to get this long overdue project completed. Jeff has just done a great job. That thing's been sitting there for 3 years going nowhere, and Jeff came on, and we're finally looking like we're going to make some progress and get some things done in that jail. And we just want to take the time to recognize Director Vrabel for his help. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Sheriff. Appreciate
Thank
you bringing
you.
that forward. Anything else? Item number 9. There are no public hearings this morning, so we can move to item number 11 on our agenda, which is our board reports and calendar. Commissioner Jeffries, if you wouldn't mind getting us started.
I'd be happy to. So following last week's meeting of the Board of Commissioners, we had a briefing with the Behavioral Health Organization for Thurston Mason County regarding adopting the full integration of behavioral health services and physical health, and the decision that sits before both the BHO board and the individual counties. Just to follow up on that, at a work session last Friday, I believe it was, we all came to conclusion among the BHO governance board that we would probably not be a good time to do the full integration, in that it's unclear what the role of the Behavioral Health Organization will be in the full integration. Had a meeting of the Olympic Region Clear Air Authority, and just wanted to bring to your attention, we do have at least one constituent from Mason County, and actually in my neighborhood, who has consistently been attending the meetings, trying to find relief from wood smoke that comes into his property and apparently into his home, affecting his asthmatic child. And we have tried very hard to meet the letter of the law, but as you can imagine, trying to see at the very point that that wood smoke is hitting that area of, outside of their yard of the person creating the smoke is like catching sunlight in a bottle. It's next to impossible, and so I anticipate that he'll be seeking relief at another level of government perhaps, but just to make you aware of that. And let's see, had a meeting of the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee on Thursday the 9th, and then I was invited to speak to the Thurston Mason Medical Society on our behavioral health activities here in Mason County, and had that very meeting I was speaking of, the work session with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization, a meeting of the Executive Committee of the Pack Mountain Workforce Development Council. That's right, never mind. And then I did attend the North Mason Chamber of Commerce Gala and Awards Banquet on Saturday. I was sick yesterday, but was able to attend by phone half of our briefings, and then and I was unable to attend, unfortunately, the Shelton Urban Growth Area Comprehensive Plan open house, and so we'll need to follow up on that still. Following today's meeting, we will have the interviews of applicants for the Planning Advisory Commission, and then I'll have a meeting, a first forming meeting with the contractor for mobile crisis outreach and how that will play itself out here in Mason County. The company that received the contract is called Telecare, and we'll need to be the first step in seeing how the mobile crisis response will operate here in Mason County, who will be eligible to access their services directly, and response times, and just how that'll work. We have a budget briefing on Wednesday, and then I'll be attending the Economic Development Council annual lunch, and then we have a briefing scheduled with Commissioner Dahlstead from I don't know which county regarding the National Association of Counties. I have PAC interviews 2 places, so another PAC interview. I may be attending the Washington State Association of Counties legislative reception, just to make the public aware of that. And then a regular meeting of the Mason Thurston Behavioral Health Organization. And then I may be attending the Mason County Association of Realtors luncheon on Friday. And that brings us back to, Monday's a holiday. So we have no briefings on Monday the 20th, and then regular meeting on the 21st.
Very good. Commissioner Mendelman.
Okay, met with a developer in regards to a potential business that they're working on opening up in North Mason area. I attended by phone that meeting of WASAC, the subcommittee on the growth management, and really looking at what can be done on it, and following the bills that are already in the works. I also had a meeting with the gentleman, as I told you, who represents the kind of their code enforcement for the Beards Cove Homeowners Association. I went to a Democrat Central Committee meeting. I went to something that I want to share with you guys. For anybody that travels, it's well worth it. It's so easy to do. I went down to TSA and actually applied. Now I can go through the quick screening everywhere I go. And it's so cheap and it's so easy to do. What they put you through is nothing, but now I don't have to take off my shoes, my belt, or any of that stuff. So give it a thought. It's worth the effort. West Sound Alliance is still working on what we're doing in Olympia, trying to make sure we're in front of any transportation projects for this area that we could possibly get funding for, and to make sure that we keep the money that we have been given directly here in Mason County. I also attended the gala. It was nice. All 3 commissioners were there. It was a very fun evening, and I don't know, it's always makes me proud when I see all 3 of us represented down there. And a few of the people really enjoyed seeing it as well, including one that asked to have a picture with all 3, which was interesting. We had our briefings, and then had a left board meeting this morning, and of course we met with constituents all through all that. Coming up in this next week, we have interviews with for the PAC, for the Planning Commission. We have a Housing Coalition meeting, North Mason Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors meeting. I may be attending the EDC lunch at the same time, so I'm not sure which one I'll have to give up there. We have our briefings, and we have a briefing on budget. Then we have a briefing with NACO. Then we have another PAC interviews. Then I may be attending the Wassac reception. I'm just putting it on there in case I do. I have an audit committee meeting, North Mason bus routes. They have invited me to come down as we talk about the potential bus routes for future issues, for snow, for road restrictions or anything. I don't know if you guys have done the ones with Shelton or anything yet. Then, yeah, and you were sick, probably. I want to make, Commissioner Jeffrey doesn't miss work, so when she missed work yesterday, I teased her a little bit, but I got to tell you, we all know she doesn't miss work. She'll work on her deathbed down there. So I had an audit committee meeting. Let's see, Mason Transit Authority is meeting in regards to the work group on the Belfair Park and Ride and other park and rides. ABC Group Allen Belfair Committee, they work on doing things for economic development for the Allen and Belfair region. Then Peninsula Regional Transportation and Planning Organization. So next week I have a busy week.
So I too was at the, maybe get a theme here, I was at the Chamber Gala on Saturday night as well, and it was just I think a fantastic showing of the enthusiasm in our community right now, and we were lucky to have Congressman Derek Kilmer there to share some remarks with us about not so much the work that he's doing in Congress right now, other than just kind of recognizing that we all could benefit from a little bit more unity and working together collaboratively. So that was a good message from him. And then, so that was it was a fantastic evening, and I think everybody that was there enjoyed it and enjoyed celebrating people that do a lot of great work in our community. So we have PAC interviews. Today I'll also be at the Housing Coalition meeting this afternoon, and then I have a MACECOM Governance and Legislative Board meeting. Tomorrow morning, Criminal Justice Working Team, followed by our budget briefing tomorrow morning. And then depending on how that goes, I'm also planning to be at the EDC lunch tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, I will be in Olympia for the morning with WASAC, the Association of Counties, Steering Committee, talking to legislators and getting an update on where some of the key bills that they're tracking are in the process. Then Thursday night, I will be at the Shelton High School for their junior ROTC change of command. Looking forward to that. Friday, PRTPO, the Peninsula Regional Transportation Board there, be talking about some transportation issues regionally. And then holiday on Monday, never a bad time for a 3-day weekend. So going to enjoy that. And then back here on Tuesday for our commission meeting. And then Mason Transit that afternoon.
Commissioner, if I may ask, the Criminal Justice Working Team, who is chairing that group? Or have
So
we
it is.
decided?
It's currently Mayor Krantz,
Okay.
and so we're working with him to get an agenda together and that kind of thing. So just a little bit of back and forth right now.
Okay, so given my meeting today with the organization Telecare, who will be doing the mobile crisis outreach, at some point we'll need to, I'd like that group to come speak to the criminal justice team, and so would I contact Mayor Krantz to schedule that meeting?
Yeah, as it is right now.
Okay,
So depending on how
okay.
things shake out between today and tomorrow, I would contact Mayor Krantz.
So if you wouldn't mind carrying the
Absolutely.
message that this
Yeah.
group is
Yeah, we were
ready to
supposed to meet.
with-
We were supposed to meet, and you had mentioned this in January and asked me to bring it up at that meeting, but there wasn't a quorum,
Okay.
so there was no business done at that meeting. So
Okay.
more than happy to continue to
Great,
find an opportunity to get them in.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
And Commissioner City, if you're gonna be attending the Housing Authority one, I think it'd be better if I not, and this way you can go ahead and, have the whole time for them to get to know you and.
Well, I won't be there for the whole thing. It's just an introductory. Todd asked me to come in for 15 or 20 minutes because I have to get down to MACECOM.
Okay, then I will
Yeah.
still attend then,
Yeah.
just in case. I don't even know how I got into that one, what happened. Is that one you usually do, or?
I did until I got onto the MACECOM board, and because of the
Oh.
conflict, I was not able to attend those meetings.
Somehow I'm there now. It's all good, it all works.
I think it had a lot to do with the Veterans Housing Initiative that we did last year before.
Okay, well, very good. That takes us to item number 12, which is adjournment. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
We are adjourned.
You want to meet with him?
Thank you, everybody,
You
for
wanna
being
Thank you.
Would you like to meet with another
Happy
commissioner?
Valentine's Day.